At some point, we stopped watching Black Mirror and started living in it. There was a time not long ago when episodes of Black Mirror felt like a glimpse into an unsettling future. The kind of speculative horror you could shiver at from a safe distance. Remember watching those twisted storylines, social credit scores, AI lovers, reality TV executions, and thinking, thank God this isn't real. But somewhere between viral deepfakes and emotional support chatbots, between filtered faces and live-streamed tragedies, something shifted. The satire became reality, and the dystopia, it's now just daily life. We now exist in a world where a grieving influencer can monetize their trauma with ad revenue, where teenagers date AI companions who send good morning texts, and where your own voice can be cloned and used without your consent. We call it content, we call it innovation, but really, it's surveillance dressed as convenience, disconnection masked as intimacy, an illusion sold as identity, and it all lives in our pockets, always on, always listening, and always learning. This isn't fiction anymore. It's your For You page. It's your news feed. It's your FaceTime camera smoothing your skin in real time while you pretend everything's fine. The most terrifying part? We didn't resist it. We embraced it. We downloaded it. We let it brand us, algorithm by algorithm, one dopamine hit at a time. So why does everything suddenly feel like a Black Mirror episode? The answer might not just be in the tech. It might be in us and what we've normalized and what we've sacrificed for convenience, for attention, for the illusion of connection. And the more we scroll through this digital funhouse mirror, the harder it is to remember what reality looked like before the reflection distorted. Chapter 1, we're all the main character and no one is watching. Social media didn't just change how we communicate, it changed how we see ourselves. We used to log on to stay connected. Now we log on to perform. Social media apps like TikTok and Instagram and even Be Real have created an environment where daily life is content and every mundane moment has a cinematic potential. Whether you're filming a coffee run or a mental breakdown, the underlying message is the same. Your life is a show and someone was watching. This phenomenon has a name, main character syndrome, and it's everywhere. It's the idea that you're the protagonist in a story unfolding online, and every moment is curated for engagement. You're not just sad, you're sad with an aesthetic lighting. You're not just lonely, you're lonely with a trending audio clip and a perfectly timed caption. Vulnerability has become currency. Crying on camera is no longer a breakdown, it's a branding opportunity. But here's the twist. While everyone is busy performing, fewer people are actually paying attention. With millions of people posting at once, the internet becomes a never-ending scroll of oversharing. The audience is fragmented. So while you might be narrating your life like it's an A24 film, most viewers are swiping past in search of something more dramatic, more extreme, and more emotionally clickable. There's also a dark side to this kind of constant self-narration. Moments should be private. Grief, trauma, intimate conversations are increasingly packaged and published for likes and validation. People now live stream funerals, post curated divorce announcements, and share mental health crises in real time. What once stayed behind closed doors is now framed with trending audios and pastel font templates. Emotions aren't just felt, they're marketed. Even platforms that claim to promote authenticity, like Be Real, still encourage performance. Yes, you're posting in real time, but that moment is still chosen. It's still filtered by intent, consciously or not. And what's more real these days? Unfiltered happiness or a perfectly timed spiral that gets 100,000 views? In the Black Mirror universe, people lived in a world where every interaction was publicly rated, creating a high-stakes game of social reputation. That once seemed dystopian, but now look at the TikTok comments section. Look at how quickly strangers judge, rate, cancel, or idolize someone based on a 30-second clip. We don't need a formal rating system. We built one ourselves. We've created a culture where we're all trying to be seen, validated, understood, and yet we're lonelier than ever. Everyone's starring in their own movie, but no one's really watching anyone else's. It's not just that we're living in a Black Mirror episode, it's that we're writing them in real time, one overshare at a time. Chapter 2, Artificial Intimacy and the Death of Real Connection. We're living in the most connected era in human history, and yet people report feeling lonelier than ever. That contradiction isn't a glitch, it's a new design. And the tools we're turning to for comfort, they're not friends, they're interfaces. Take Replica, for example, a popular AI companion app that lets you design a digital friend or lover who texts you sweet things, listens to your problems, and always says the right thing. From a small subscription fee, you can even unlock NSFW conversations. It's marketed as therapeutic companionship, but what it really offers is emotional stimulation. No conflict, no compromise, just scripted affection 24/7. It's connection on demand, but it's also entirely fake. Then there are the AI dead, programs that recreate your loved one's voice using recordings and deep learning. The result? You can keep talking to your dead partner, your mother, your ex, or your child indefinitely. It's comfort, yes, but it's also something deeper. The boundary between memory and stimulation begins to collapse. You're no longer grieving. You're engaging with a digital ghost that says what you wish they would have said in life. And this is like a very disturbing path in many ways. And while those relationships are obviously synthetic, there's another kind that feels real but isn't. Parasocial love. You don't know them. They don't know you. But it still feels like intimacy. Influencers are no longer just people. They're characters in serialized emotional dramas. They vlog their breakups, document their therapy sessions, show you their fertility struggles, and invite you into the most private corners of their lives. Millions follow them, not just for content, but for the feeling of closeness. You comment like you're their best friend. You defend them like their family. But the relationship is one-sided and always has been. OnlyFans takes this dynamic even further. It's not just sex work, it's emotional work. Many curators now emphasize conversation, attention, and romantic role play. They sell the feeling of being desired, seen, and valued, something many people aren't getting anywhere else. For some subscribers, this artificial connection feels safer and more fulfilling than dating in real life. But the cost is subtle. The more we rely on these controlled, curated forms of intimacy, the harder real relationships become. Real people come with flaws, needs, and unpredictability. But the AI girlfriend never argues. The influencer never rejects you. The synthetic love always fits your fantasy. This isn't just about loneliness. It's about what happens when the human need for connection is met with technology that mimics emotion but lacks soul. You're not bonding, you're consuming. You're not being loved, you're being marketed to. We often talk about tech as neutral, just a tool. But when loneliness becomes a business model, the tool is shaping us more than we realize. We're lonelier than ever and more connected than we've ever been. That's not irony. That's the algorithm doing exactly what it is designed to. Chapter 3, the new surveillance state is you. Once upon a time, surveillance was something we feared. It was the domain of authoritarian regimes, spy thrillers, and Orwellian nightmares. Big Brother watched from behind a two-way screen, and the idea of being monitored without consent felt invasive, almost unthinkable. But somewhere between convenience culture and constant connectivity, that fear turned into fascination. We didn't just accept surveillance, we started participating in it voluntarily. Today, surveillance doesn't just come from governments or corporations. It comes from your neighbors, your friends, your own devices. Ring doorbells record everyone who walks by your front door. Solicitor, stranger, delivery driver. That footage doesn't just stay local, it's uploaded, shared, and sometimes even sold. Neighborhood apps like Nextdoor have turned suburban communities into crowdsourced detective agencies. Posts go viral warning about a suspicious man walking through the neighborhood, feeding into digital paranoia dressed up as public safety. Then there's Life 360, a family tracking app popular among parents, partners, and even friend groups. It lets you monitor someone's exact location, driving speed, and battery level in real time. It's marketed as a tool for safety, but what it really does is collapse the boundary between protection and control. You're no longer just looking out for loved ones, you're keeping tabs constantly. Meanwhile, smart speakers like Alexa and Siri are always listening. Social media algorithms track your viewing habits and push you into echo chambers. Facial recognition software maps your expressions in real time. And every I agree click you've ever made is just another brick in the digital profile being built around you. Your face, your voice, your preferences, your location, everything is data. And that data is the most valuable currency in the world. And here's the chilling part. Most of us don't mind as long as we feel like we're in control, watching instead of being watched. We're willing to give up our privacy for a false sense of security. Surveillance has been repackaged as empowerment. You're not being tracked, you're protecting your family. You're not being sold, you're getting a personalized content. In Black Mirror, the idea of being constantly rated, monitored, and recorded was portrayed as a dystopian hellscape. But today, it's become so normalized, we barely think about it. We live stream our daily lives, share location data with apps and people we barely know, and post surveillance footage of strangers like it's just another form of content. We've built a panopticon, a structure where everyone can be watched at any time, but no one had to force us to do it. We downloaded it ourselves. We call it community, we call it convenience, but it's really just a prettier prison. The surveillance state isn't coming, it's already here. And the scariest part, we built it, we maintain it, and we think we're in control. Chapter 4: Beauty Filters, Body Mods, and the Uncanny Self. There was a time when editing your photos meant light airbrushing or adding a flattering filter. Now it means altering your face so drastically that your real features start to feel unfamiliar. We used to tweak pictures to match reality. Today we alter ourselves, our voices, our bodies, our identities to match the edited image. And it's happening so gradually, so seamlessly, that many of us don't even realize how far we've gone. Face filters on Instagram and TikTok don't just smooth skin and brighten eyes. They reshape jawlines, enlarge lips, thin noses, and lighten skin tones. Many activate automatically, subtly adjusting your appearance in every video or selfie until you start to forget what your unfiltered face even looks like. Some are marketed as enhancements, but the reality is more insidious. They're templates of algorithms' ideal face, and increasingly we're expected to conform to it. Then there's voice AI technology that fixes your tone in real time during calls or meetings, making you sound more pleasant, more confident, more feminine or masculine depending on the moment. And if you step outside the digital space, cosmetic surgeons are reporting a massive rise in clients, especially teens, bringing in selfies with filter effects, asking for the Snapchat version of themselves. This isn't just a trend, it's a new form of dysmorphia, Snapchat dysmorphia, a disconnection between what we see in the mirror and what we think we should see, based on the curated versions of ourselves fed back to us in an app. On TikTok, beauty trends emerge like fast fashion, clean girl, coquette, soft boy, siren eyes. Each aesthetic comes with its own facial features, makeup rules, and personality types. It's no longer just about looking good, it's about looking like a specific archetype. And because these trends shift so rapidly, users end up with a constant loop of transformation, trying to stay relevant in a beauty landscape driven not by self-expression, but by algorithmic popularity. But there's something uncanny happening beneath all of this. When everyone's face starts to look the same proportions, same angles, same symmetry, it stops feeling aspirational and starts feeling eerie. Like a population of avatars wearing real skin. We're creating an uncanny valley effect. But instead of seeing it in robots or CGI characters, we're seeing it in each other and in ourselves. This isn't just about beauty standards getting more extreme, it's about reality itself becoming unstable. When you can't trust your own reflection or anyone else's, what happens to your own sense of identity? Who are you when your digital self is more you than your actual body? We're not enhancing ourselves, we're erasing ourselves. In the pursuit of perfection, we're becoming something less human, less flawed, and less real. And in that loss of realness, we're losing something essential, something no filter can replicate: authenticity, individuality, and the quiet beauty of imperfection. Chapter 5: Doom Scrolling Through the Apocalypse. We used to witness tragedy through breaking news alerts, radio broadcasts, or word of mouth. Moments of collective pause. Now we experience it through TikToks with dreamy, lo-fi music and curated Instagram slideshows that make global crises look like an aesthetic mood board. Wildfires, school shootings, political collapses, humanitarian disasters, they all appear between a dance, challenges, and cat videos, reduced to digestible fragments designed for engagement. The apocalypse isn't televised, it's live streamed, and then it gets to go viral. This is doom scrolling, the compulsive consumption of catastrophic news and trauma, served up algorithmically day after day. We're exposed to more suffering in a single afternoon than previous generations might have seen in a year. And yet, instead of mobilizing us, this flood of content has dulled our senses. Tragedies become a background noise, something we scroll past with a sigh, not because we don't care, but because we're overwhelmed. The horror isn't hidden, it's overexposed. Social justice is now part of your feed aesthetic. Injustice gets turned into pastel PowerPoints, war footage is set to indie soundtracks. A house destroyed by flooding might be posted with a calming voiceover and a link to someone's Venmo. These aren't inherently bad impulses. Awareness matters, but the medium flattens the message. Everything starts to feel like a trend. Resistance becomes a vibe. Solidarity becomes a core. Take warcore or apocalypse core, TikTok subcultures that borrow imagery from real conflict and crisis to create cinematic styled looks. People wear gas masks and shredded clothing to evoke dystopia, but many of them have never faced actual danger. It's cosplay, not commentary. And this kind of aestheticization isn't just cringe, it's desensitizing. When war becomes an outfit and devastation becomes an aesthetic, the suffering behind those images is stripped away. The result is a kind of cultural numbness. We're not shocked by headlines anymore, we're exhausted by them. And when outrage becomes just another piece of content, something dangerous happens. Nothing sticks and nothing changes. Not because people don't care, but because they've been conditioned to consume rather than respond. To feel briefly and then move on. In Black Mirror, the fear was that we'd become enslaved by technology. But this version of reality is far more subtle. We're not shackled, we're sedated. Constant input, constant tragedy, constant performance. All of this is delivered in the most addictively watchable format ever invented. We don't process pain anymore, we package it. We don't mourn, we repost. We don't resist, we rebrand. And in the process, we've turned the end of the world into just another scrollable vibe. Black Mirror was never just about technology, it was about us, our choices, our patterns, our willingness to trade authenticity for ease. At its core, the show wasn't predicting the future, it was diagnosing the present. But instead of treating it like a warning, we consumed it like content. We watched the story, shivered in the bleak endings, maybe tweeted a hot take, and then downloaded the next app, signed up for the next AI, posed for the next filter. We didn't just ignore the caution, we opted in willingly. The reality is, we built this world ourselves, not with some dramatic dystopian takeover, but with small decisions. One like at a time, one filter, one viral post. We gave away our data for convenience, our privacy performance, our identity for the illusion of perfection. It didn't happen all at once, it happened while we were distracted, curating our lives into stories worth sharing. And maybe the most terrifying part isn't that we're living in a digital nightmare, it's that we like it here. Because the filtered version of ourselves is easier to love, the AI friend doesn't judge. The curated grief, the hyper-aesthetic breakdown, the pre-recorded authenticity, all of it feels safer than being messy and human. We've become addicted to being seen, but terrified of being known. And in that disconnect, we've started to prefer the simulation. So now the mirror is cracked. And we're not sure who's looking back. Is it still you, or is it a version of you designed for the algorithm? The one who smiles at the right angles in bite-sized pieces. When the line between human and content disappears, who are you performing for? And when the likes stop, what's left? The reflection fades, the screen goes dark. And maybe in the silence, remember what it means to actually be real. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Do you sometimes feel like things are going this way? I mean, I do, with a lot of different things. And I started watching the new season of Black Mirror, and it just really creeped me out. Anyways, let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.